Hey, how's it going, everyone? Welcome to Happy Hour Hangout. This is going to be somewhat of a regular stream where I just get some chatting going, kind of chill and hang out and play some games. So, thanks for joining me on this first regular stream. Hope your day is going well, or evening, or early morning, or nighttime, whatever time zone you are in. Welcome. It's so good to see you virtually, even though I'm staring directly at a camera. It's as if I am seeing you in person. That's how I want to picture it, at least. So cool. I'm going to be just chatting and kind of shooting the breeze, like what you do for happy hour times. So grab your beverage of choice. Today I'm sticking with my handy dandy water bottle. Maybe in these future streams, as things get more adventurous, might dive into some other beverages. But for now, I'll stick with the water. So today, I thought it would be kind of cool to do a little stream on one of kind of a quick go-to game that I like to play. Is called Rolling America. And there are other games in kind of similar vein. There's Rolling Japan and a really cool one that I just found on BGG called Rolling Sherlock. And some fan designed a Sherlock-shaped puzzle for Rolling America, and it uses the same rule set, but you just play with this puzzle. So if anyone is interested, I'm going to pop it into the chat and you can play along or play along with me on your regular copy of Rolling America. I'm going to do some quick kind of overview on how to play. It's super easy, really a lot of fun. And then we can, just chat. Hey, Tom, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by. So let me switch over to this two-camera view here. And so in Rolling America, you have 7 different D6s. So 1 through 6 on there. And what I like about these dice is they actually have stars instead of pips on them, which is really kind of cool. I like those. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be trying to fill in all the different spaces on your map. So all the spaces here, they are color coordinated based upon the die color that you can write them in. And some of them are shaped like the states here in the nation and some are not. But there are different sections that you will be writing in throughout the game. There are 8 rounds, and how a round works is you're going to be drawing out 2 dice from the bag. This bag that they gave in the box is quite small. So I am actually going to use a customized Draftosaurus bag, which if we do comparisons, they're like significant difference, I think. But I think for the reason they have this small bag is so it can fit inside the box, and the box is portable, so you can just use it that way. But what you're going to be doing is drafting 2 dice and rolling them, and whatever numbers they are will correspond to where you write them into your map. So, for example, if I'll just grab some of these dice here, let's say I pulled out the green and the red to start with. I will roll these up, and I've got a red 1 and a green 2. So I must write a 1 in the red section on my map and a 2 somewhere in the green section. Now you see, that's pretty straightforward. That seems kind of really easy, but there are rules. There are the neighboring states rules, which means that for every number that you write, any number that is adjacent to it cannot be any higher than 1. So if I had the 2 here in the shape that looks like Texas, on this yellow one here, I can have a 1, I can have a 2, or I can have a 3. Nothing higher than that. There are rules that would help you kind of manipulate the dice. I'll go through that in just a second. But to remember that you will write down you write down both of those numbers on your map somewhere. It must correspond to the color of the dice. Hey, Gus or not, welcome. Let's see. Do you have a shot of the dice and a sheet? I'm just seeing your camera. Oh, interesting. Okay. Let's see. It would help if I did. Haha, there we go. See, I had my program in edit mode and not on display mode. So now you all are probably seeing what I'm talking about. Thank you for that, Gus or not. Very helpful. So, okay. So here we go. Here's our map, and here's the dice that we've got, our different colored dice. So like we said, with the map here, we've got our map of the United States. Some of them look like the actual shapes of the states, some don't. So on your turn, what you're going to be doing is you're going to be rolling the dice and marking the dice and the numbers in that corresponding section. So I would write a 2 somewhere in the green section and a 1 somewhere in the red section. And I was also explaining about the neighboring states rules, where any numbers that are adjacent to ones that are currently written cannot be any greater than one higher value. So for example, like I was saying with the Texas state here, if I wrote a number 2, in this yellow section, I can write a value of 1, 2, or 3, nothing higher. And so pretty simple to kind of follow, but it can get tricky as you go along, and numbers can get tight. And as you look around in the borders, some of the borders don't follow the actual state borders themselves. So you kind of have to keep an eye out on your player sheet. So what we're going to be doing is rolling up the dice. There's going to be 6 out of the 7 dice that are going to be rolled each round. And then all the dice get put back in the bag and we start a new round. We'll go through that for 8 rounds and then we'll add up a score and go from there. The goal is to have the least amount of X's onto your player sheet. How do you mark X's? Well, if there are, for any reason, you cannot write a number on a state, for whatever reason, you must write an X somewhere in the map to indicate that that space is taken when no numbers can be written there, and that's just how it goes. So you're trying to get the least amount of X's on your player sheet. The clear dice, there is a clear one here, that counts as a wild, so it can be as any color, but it must be the number that is shown on the die face. I did mention before that there are rules and how there are different abilities, not necessarily rules, but there are different abilities and how you can manipulate the dice. How we can do that are 3 things: a color change, a guard, and a dupe. I always think of dupe as juke, but it's dupe, like duplicate. So first, I'll talk about color change. On a turn, if you roll the dice, let's say for those example, I rolled the 1 and the 2 here, I can take one of those dice and mark it as a color change, meaning I can take that die and use that same number value, but I can use it on a different color of the map. So if I wanted to, I had this green 2 here, but I didn't want to write a 2 in the green section. I actually wanted to use the 2 somewhere in the orange section. I would mark off one of my color changes. You're allowed 3 per game, and then you can use that for a orange die instead for that round. That is color change. The next one is guard. This can be very helpful if you find yourself in a situation where some of the dice you can't write anything adjacent that's greater than the value, greater than or lesser than 1 of that value. So if I had a 2 and I wasn't able to roll any 1s, 2s, or 3s, let's say I had this in a future turn, let's say I had this purple 6, and I'm like, oh dang, I don't know where I can put this purple 6. So what you can do is you can guard it, which means you take that color and that die face, write it in the map. So I would write this 6 somewhere in the map and circle it, and that means it's guarded, and so it negates any of the neighboring state rules. Now you can color change that die first and then use it as a guard. You can build up some of your abilities so you can place it in a better location, but you cannot change the number on the die face itself. So you can do those kind of multiple abilities on top of one another. So that's what guarding does, and you're allowed 3 of those for the game. Finally is the dupe, where you can take the die face itself and duplicate it on 2 different locations. So for example, that green 2, if I wanted to use that as a green 2, I can duplicate that and mark 2 in a couple of the sections on the green part of my map. I believe the wild does count as a duplication, so if you choose to use the wild as a different color, then you can do the duplication rule. I think that same color does apply. Let's see. Okay, yes. So you can color change and duplicate on the dice, and it only applies to the active dice. So the dice that are currently out for that current round. So the 2 that were drafted, that's what the combinations of the abilities you can do on that. So do as many abilities as you want to on the current 2 dice that are rolled, and then move on to the next round. So we will play this over 8 rounds, and then count up how many X's we have and go from there. So, like I said, I am going to take this out and put all of my dice in this giant Draftosaurus bag, because that other bag is just too tiny for my hands. Yeah, so after playing this, I'm kind of curious to see about that Sherlock Holmes puzzle and see how that works. It's cool looking. That's like a silhouette of Sherlock with his pipe and everything, and different sections are divided up with the colors. So, okay, if everyone's playing at home, cool. If not, if you just want to watch me play, then awesome sauce. All right, so we've got green and orange are our first 2 here, and I've got a green 2 and a orange 1. Now let's see if that looks kind of blurry. Let me see if I can turn this down a smidge here. Will that help at all? Let's see. No, maybe not. That's better. All right. I will ditch my nice dice tray and go for the 1 and the 2. Okay. Cool, Tom. You're gonna do that that new one. Let me know how it goes. So, but same rules apply. The color change, the guarding, and the dupe, that's the same. So we've got an orange 1 and a green 2. Oh, and I did not mention, but if you're playing with the regular Rolling America rules, there are there's 2 boxes that are kind of off of the center to represent Alaska and Hawaii. The neighboring state rules, I believe, do not apply to those because there's water in between. Yes, Alaska and Hawaii are immune from the neighboring state rule. All right, so I'm going to do a 1 and what kind of looks like Idaho, and a 2 over here. Okay, so what I did is I've got the 1 over there and then the 2 right next to it, and I don't know, Utah, I guess. Yeah. Soma, you think that's Utah? I think so. She's currently napping. Okie doke. So that's our 2 here. And I believe on the Sherlock one too that the colors are the same. I think they are divided up in the same way. So, all right, our next 2 dice, we've got blue and wild. All right, we got a 5 wild and a blue 3. 5 wild and a blue 3. Well, my blue 3 can go next to my green 2. My 5 wild, oh boy. Now, wilds are something that I just like to not manipulate if I can help it, because it'll just allow me to save those rules from previous stuff there. Okay. Yep. Cool. So then this will be the last 2 dice for this first round. And we've got yellow and purple. Ooh, we've got a couple of 1s here. Purple 1 and a yellow 1. Man, I might need to color change those. Color change. Color change. Purple and yellow. Yeah, see, I stuck my wild up in the purple section, so I don't want to put a 1 next to a 5. So a yellow 1, I could see about doing a yellow 1 and color changing. Yeah, so I'm going to take the yellow 1, but I'm going to color change that purple and make it into a green. So here, so I stuck that wild 5 all the way up in Maine and had my 1s, 2s, and 3s over here, but I used a color change. And so that is the first, round 1. Tom says, oh, I did the same thing, the wild 5 right in the middle of purples, and I can't place the 1 far enough away. Yeah, that's where you can get stuck. So, okay, we're going to do, that is round 1. We're going to put all the dice back in the bag, give them a good little shuffle, a little mixy mix here. Mixer's thinking about happy hour. And then we will go into round 2. Okay, and our first dice are purple and blue. We have got a 6 blue and a purple 3. 6 blue, purple 3. Oh boy. It would have been nice if that was a 6 purple and a blue 3, because that would be perfect spots for those. But no. A 6 blue and a purple 3. Okay. I'm going to see if this works. And a 6 blue. Boy. A 6 blue. 6 blue is not great right off the bat. Do I want to use another color change? Oh, goodness. I don't. I think I might just have to guard it. So the question is, and I've always kind of strategized this, where to put your guard so that it's touching multiple borders so that you have a lot of freedom to place things. Yeah, Tom said he's going to guard his blue. I think I'm going to follow along with you, Tom. I'm going to also guard as well. So, all right, I've already used 1 color change and 1 guard. Slowly regretting that decision, but that's okay. Next 2 dice, we've got green and wild. Let's roll them up here. We've got a wild 5 and a green 3. Wild 5, green 3. Green 3 is nice. However, some of these borders you got to pay attention to because there are borders that you don't think there are. I remember playing this, one of my first times playing this, and I went, wait a second, that's not how the states look. So you have to kind of just give yourself a little bit of, take your mind out of the knowing what borders of states look like as if you're in the US. I'm sure otherwise it doesn't really matter probably. Okay, a wild 5. Wild 5 is nice, but wild 5, you are going in the shape of Florida. There we are. Wild 5 in the shape of Florida. Okay. So yeah, these happy hour times, I like to have them with friends. Before the COVID happened, I scheduled, fairly regularly happy hours with different friends, and we just go and chat and shoot the breeze, and sometimes we bring a little pocket game. And so I missed that. And I thought, I want to start doing that, but start doing this with my internet friends. So it's a little bit different. I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like. Might bring some guests on to chat with me and do some stuff, answer some silly questions and things like that. But for now, it's going to be, just hanging out and enjoying just playing some chill games. So, all right, it's round 2. We've got red and yellow. Let's roll them up here. Okay, a yellow 2 and a red 6. Yellow 2, red 6. Yellow 2 is awesome. Yellow 2. Do. Yellow 2. But what about red? A red 6 is not so great for me. I've also noticed that I tend to sing a lot more being cooped up inside. With the Rona and the coronavirus and the world being in chaos, staying indoors seems to be the safer place to be. So yeah, just trying to stay positive, trying to keep myself afloat. So, all right, I put that there. Seeing if that's going to be a good decision or not. Gotta get my water going. Okie doke, and we are going to round 3. Shaky, shaky, shake, shake. Yeah, this is from Gamewright. They also, I believe, they also published Clicks, I think. Some of those pocket-sized games, but the box is really neat in that it's got this little magnetic flap to it, which I like it. It keeps everything intact. I think you could stick all your player sheets and stuff too. But this game is super portable that you can actually just have the set of dice and a player sheet and you're good to go. So that's pretty cool. All right, starting round 3, we've got orange and blue. I don't think I've seen an orange out yet. Sweet. Okay. Orange 3, blue 5. Orange 3, blue 5. Oh, I can't put anything there. I need 2s there. Oh, goodness me. Orange 3. Orange 3 is okay. I will put that there. But the blue 5. Blue 5. I'm gonna duplicate that orange 3 just to fill in some stuff. Blue 5. Ooh. Blue 5 smiling at me. Where am I gonna put you? I don't know. That's how the song goes, right? That's how the song goes. Boy. Yeah. Blue 5. Oh gosh. I'm already starting to feel really restricted, and it's only round 3. Yes, I know. There's tension in this game. Unknowingly. It looks so simple and yet so complex. Okay, we have wild and purple are our next 2 dice. A wild 1 and a purple 4. Wild 1, purple 4. Ooh, the purple 4 is great. Thank you, purple 4. And a wild 1. See, I think I've backed myself into a corner here because I can't put a 1 anywhere around that 3. I need some 2s to buffer it. So I'm going to put the 1 down there. Do I want to duplicate this 4? Ooh, maybe I want to duplicate this 4. Questions. If I duplicate the 4, it might give me some choices because I do have some 3s below it. Yep, I think I'm going to do it. I'm burning through all my abilities, all the bonuses. Oh goodness. Oh goodness. Okay. Last 2 of this round, we've got red and green. And it's some 4s here. Red 4, green 4. Red 4, green 4. Ugh. Jeepers. The green 4 is not awesome sauce. Neither is the red 4. But the green 4 might need to be guarded. Oh, wow. Yep. The green 4 is going to be guarded. Oh, this is going swimmingly, friends. This is going swimmingly. I tend to leave the orange, the shapes for Alaska and Hawaii, I tend to leave them to the very end as like a last resort, a last ditch effort to throw something, throw a number, and probably throw something in frustration. But yeah, currently my orange game is not well. Okay, we are moving. That was round 3, friends. We are moving into round 4. Let's roll them up. Let's roll them. So let's see. Happy hour time. It always varies. Here in the States, it's like anywhere from like 3 till 8 p.m. And a lot of restaurants usually do some sort of deals, snacks, and things. My friends like to get some happy hour drinks, usually discounted prices. But it was more about just hanging out, not necessarily the food. Because I always tend, sometimes restaurants have those where you have the food stuff is not super great, so that's why it's like on the discounted happy hour menu. Or it's really, really great, but you get a super tiny portion. Like you want to order some nachos or something, and it's like 4 nachos and some cheese. So yeah, I mostly just go for the hangout time with people, not necessarily the snacks. But all right, round 4. We've got orange and wild. And orange 1, wild 2. Hey now, that's a pretty good roll if I do say so myself. The orange 2 is nice. Orange 2. Oh, sorry. Orange 1. I apologize. Wild 2. Orange 1. Wild 2. Orange 1. Yes. Now, do I use that to guard? Oh, geez. No, I don't want to guard it. Oh, it's still so early. My orange 1. But I should. So I'm going to duplicate that. Put my 1 up here. Hope I can get a 2. So I have used all of my duplicates. Such a bummer. All of my duplicates are now gone. But there's still plenty of game. Yellow and green are next. Green 1, yellow 5. Oh, hello. Green 1. Green 1 has to be guarded unless I color change it. Yellow 5. Oh boy, I'm regretting putting that yellow 5 in Florida now. Because I'm surrounded by very small numbers. I could change it, color change it. Yeah, I think I'm going to color change it. And a green 1. And my green 1 has to be guarded. Oh, geez. Unless I decide to color change that as well. Yeah, I'm going to color change that as well. So I've used all of my color changes. I have 1 guard left. That's my safety here. Whew. It's not looking good, friends. It's not looking good. Tom, I'm curious how your map is going. Last couple dice here. We've got blue and purple. And we've got a couple 2s there. Purple 2, blue 2. Purple 2, blue 2. Okay, so the blue I can actually write without doing anything. That's awesome. And the purple 2 I can also write without doing anything. Holy cow. That worked out well. So we are halfway through here on Rolling America. I've yet to try rolling Japan. but I'm assuming it's just the different map and the same rules. Oh no, Tom says it's not going well. I've got a guard left, which I already think I know where I have to put it, and 2 dupes. Well, you're doing a lot better than me, my friend, on your abilities. I only have a guard, and there's so many more spaces. We're only halfway through. Yeah. So with Rolling Japan, I believe it's just the same map, and then, or same map, excuse me, a different map, but the same rules. But yeah, I was able to teach this to some people. Oh, so we have this on a laminated sheet, and I'm looking, and I just flipped it over because it's double-sided, and the last time I got 11 X's. Wow, that's quite a lot. So I'm going to try to get myself in a better position, but I can't guarantee anything. Okay, let's go into round 5, shall we? Is there any colors that people are looking for? Any colors in particular? Wilds are always nice, but the thing that's hard is that changing the numbers, you can't change the numbers. So color changes are great, but all right. Tom's requesting a red 3. Red 3 coming in. Oh no, it was red 5. That's right. Sorry, I'm trying to get my Star Wars knowledge. I've been watching the Clone Wars animated series in between my waiting for the Mandalorian Season 2 to come out, which I just watched the trailer. I'm super excited about that. And yeah, it's funny, I'm like, when people ask, are you into Star Trek or Star Wars? I'm just all over the place, really. I do like Star Wars, so I'm watching the Clone Wars to try to get into more canon, more backstory to help me kind of figure out who people are. But yeah, it's been interesting to see it because the animation is different than like animation of like cartoons and stuff that I used to watch as a kid. But it's fascinating. They do a really good job. A lot of the voice actors are similar to the ones in the movies, but they're not. It's not Samuel L. Jackson and it's not Ewan McGregor. But they do a pretty good job at getting people that are close enough. So, all right, we've got red and orange. Let's see what I roll here. Oh, my lucky stars, Tom. It is your lucky day, my friend. We have a red 3 and an orange 1. Whew, that's pretty sweet. And I cannot even use a red 3. Oh my gosh. And my orange 1 is going to get thrown into the abyss here. All right, a red 3. Yeah, I've got big numbers there. So I'm going to use my final guard and stick the red 3 there and hope for a miracle. So yeah, I found out that there are question. So yes, what happens if you cannot place a number? Is that where you have to put an X in that color? Yes. So if you don't have any of your abilities left to like color change or anything or guard it, then yes, you must put an X in that number. And one thing I also did not mention, if you finish a section and that color die comes out, you don't have to write a number for that section. That's just kind of a wash for you. So if you fill up a certain color as the game progresses and that color comes out, then you don't have to write a number. So yeah, so I found out through a few friends of mine that are Star Wars fans that there are 7 seasons of the Clone Wars, and I was like, holy smokes, I don't have time to get through all of that. Can you give me like an expedited version to go through? And they were a little bit bummed about that, but they did send me some links, so I have this like playlist of watching these Clone Wars shows. That'll give me kind of the gist, and I think it's about half or maybe 2/3 of all the show of all the seasons together. So yeah, I think I've watched maybe like 15 or so episodes, and there's like 60 or 65 that they recommend you watch. So I've made a dent, and there's still a few more weeks until October when The Mandalorian comes back out. And yeah, Star Trek Discovery, season 3. So yeah, there's like September has been kind of this weird pause period for me to binge some TV. So I was just kind of catching up on things. Yeah, okay, yellow and green are next. Green 1, yellow 3. Green 1, yellow 3. Okay. A green 1 and a yellow 3. That would have been nice if I could swap them, but I can't. So, yellow 3. I think I'm gonna have to mark 2 X's. Yeah, because I've used all of my stuff. Bummer summer. Okay, X is gonna go there, and an X is gonna go there. Wow. So I'm curious, is anybody binging anything on the interwebs, on the streaming services? Oh, Tom's already marked his first X. Duplicates are left. Yeah, I've had to mark 2 X's now. Not going good. Not going good. All right, the last few for round 5. Wild and purple. Okay, let's see if we can get something good here, friends. Purple 6 and a wild 5. Purple 6, wild 5. Oh, watching season 2 of The Boys. I've heard really good things about that one. Have not started it yet. Gosh, there's just so much stuff out there. Yeah, what else have I been binging? Oh, geez. Yeah, my husband and I were like kind of bounce all over the place as far as like sci-fi and fantasy. We're getting through season 1 of The Twilight Zone. Gonna start on season 2. I mean, season 2 has already been out for a while. Yeah, I tend to do more Twitch stuff rather than TV, as you get the interaction in chat. Yes, I agree. I have, since becoming a new Twitch streamer, I have noticed the lovely community that Twitch has become. And I never knew that, because I always had that caveat of thinking to myself, well, Twitch is not really for board gamers. It's just for video game people, right? And it's like, no. I guess caveat's not the right word to use. But I had this presupposition, I guess you can say, for video gamers are using Twitch, and board gamers are just watching reviews on YouTube, and they're just following things on YouTube. So yeah, it's interesting, but I've known that now there's a lot of folks that are doing things on streams that are really awesome. They're really wonderful people, and I'm so glad that I've just been embraced with open arms for everyone, and hope to get some more, just more community building, more community engagement as things go on. When you duplicate a wild, each copy of it can be a different color. That is a good question. A wild can be marked in 2 different regions. Let's see. You may apply color changes, guards, and or duplicates onto the same die. And you may only use the color change, guarding, and or duplicates on the active dice. So I think you can, when you duplicate the wild, I believe you can put it in, let me see. If you cannot color change, the wild can be used. That is a very good question, Tom. I would say if you are duplicating it, I think you can only, it says a wild can be marked in 2 different regions under the duplication. So I would say yes, that you can write it in 2 different regions if you're duplicating the wild die itself. So yeah, so take that wild 5 and you can write it in 2 different places. Very nice. Cool. Yeah, but Twitch has been pretty cool, and I do like the fact that you can get live chat with people and they can actually be able to answer your questions. Like I was just watching Ross earlier today, and I had some questions. He was streaming Calico, and I had some questions, and he was able to answer me, so that was pretty awesome. All right. I did have to mark an X on one of those, but that is quite okay. All right, round 6. So let's see, what else have I been streaming? I'm catching up on Schitt's Creek, fun Canadian show. The last season is on Amazon Prime, which I heard is supposed to be out in October. That's a really fun show. So yeah, we were doing Twilight Zone. I've been watching the Clone Wars on my onesie. My husband's more of the movies, Star Wars side of things than the TV shows. But that's totally fine because he's got his day job and I've got my own thing, so it's pretty cool. Raiding has been great as well. Found so many great people jumping from one stream to the next. Yes, I'm learning how to do a raid. And like I said, this is only my 3rd or 4th stream. And so I'm trying to learn all the ins and outs and all the software and things to do. And so it's been pretty interesting. But everybody's been really patient and really gracious on just support and, you know, sending the raids and sending the positive supports and follows and subscribers and all that kind of thing. So that's really cool to do. I'm still figuring out all the Twitchnesses of things. Okay, we're in round 6. We've got a red and a wild here. A wild 2 and a red 5. Wild 2 and a red 5. Oh, that wild 2 is awesome. The red 5, that's what Skywalker was. Red 5. Red 5. That can go there. Wow. Not needing to put an X anywhere. I did find out, so like my twitching had been started because of some of the conventions that I've been able to help out with. I work with Haba Games, and they were doing a lot of live streams on Twitch during conventions. We had UK Games Expo, their virtual expo, virtual gaming con through BGG, and Gen Con Online, and now we're like promoting for Spiel Digital. And we realized that, streaming on Twitch can connect people internationally, and you can have it online where people can watch your streams live, or they can do it later. And that was a lot of fun to kind of incorporate a lot of people from all across the globe to play games and to follow along. And we had different content contributors from across the pond, and that was really awesome to just have that whole like wide world community. And that's kind of where I learned that Twitch was a thing that board gamers like to do as well. So I started following some of the people that were helping out with our content, and from there just watching those streams from other people, following other stuff, going on raids, jumping on with other people. That has been really cool to check out. And yeah, so it was, and I just kind of in the last few months actually has been something that I was like, this is kind of cool, because originally I would host game nights in town and have some people just sit around a table, and since that's not as readily available as it used to be, I had to kind of transition and do stuff online virtually. And so this is also a cool way to keep people interested and keep wanting to play games and stuff. And who knows, I might do some video games in the future. I have a Wii. The only thing I really know how to play is like Mario Kart or Super Mario Brothers. Yeah, but we'll see. Right now I've got so many games on my shelf that I want to get to the table, so they might get more gaming content and possible. My kitty might also make an appearance too. She's currently being really good right now and just napping on our shelves. Sometimes she's actually like in the camera and in everybody's faces, but I think she's had quite a day. We've been cooped up indoors, and sometimes we let them outside on our patio, but the weather and air quality conditions have not been ideal up here. So we've been keeping them inside. So they're definitely feeling some cabin fever, but their energy levels have depleted, I think, too, just because they can't really do much inside. They can't run around outside. But yeah, so she's currently napping. But I hope in the future, Gamer Kitty Soma will make her appearance, make her presence known for the wide world. Okay, we are starting round 6. We've got blue and yellow here. And we've got a blue 3 and a yellow 3. So this is currently still round 6, I should say, not starting. We are still in round 6. A blue 3 and a yellow 3. That is fine. I will take those. Blue 3 is great. Oh no, I can't take the yellow 3. Darn it. Oh, fiddlesticks. Okay. Gotta put an X there. Darn it, darn it. Yellow is full, so you don't have to mark anything in the yellow section, Tom. You'll just take the blue 3. Unless you have any color changes or anything, you can color change the yellow to something else, but otherwise then you just don't mark anything on yellow. So yeah, I was thinking, people like cats and games and things, right? I follow people on Instagram that post pictures of their cats doing silly stuff with board games, so I thought, why not? My cat likes to do silly stuff with board games too, so Let's just do that there. Okay, last couple of this round. We have yellow, orange and purple. Orange and purple are next. We got a purple 1 and an orange 4. Purple 1 and an orange 4. The purple 1 I can't do anything with. And an orange 4 is going to be over here. Wow, I am really close to filling in all of purple. All of my orange is now filled, so I cannot mark any more in orange. Yeah, we're going into round 7. Yeah, I don't have any of... See, this is what I find myself getting stuck at the very end. It's just an avalanche of marking X's in places. I find myself that I just go through and look at and see, oh, wait, I had these like perfect spots for numbers to get filled in, and that never happens. Instead of saying, oh, I have perfect spots to get filled in that I could color change or something, that doesn't happen. All right, Tom says, I need 3 orange 2s to finish the orange. Think that might be a challenge. Yeah. Unless we can get wilds, unless we can get some wilds for you. Do you have any abilities left? That's the question. Because if you have some abilities, there still might be some good stuff for you here. All right, round 7. He's got duplicates left. Okay. So yeah, if we get an orange 2 or a wild 2, you are in good shape. Let's see what happens in round 7 here. Round 7. Cool. We've got orange and purple. Let's see. Oh, so close, friend. I thought I was going to roll them good for you. An orange 3 and a purple 3. Sorry, buddy. So I'm not, my orange is filled, so I can't write anything in orange. The purple I can use, and now all of my purple is filled. So I'm curious if anybody has interest in certain games that they would like to see me do some playthroughs of, or any games you want to just talk about with Happy Hour. This is kind of just a, hey, let's hang out and shoot the breeze kind of stream that I'm hoping it's going to be. Like I said, I'll get some guests in here in the future, maybe, and just chat and, you know, have kind of like a buddy hangout. But, yeah, curious if anybody's interested on, like, hey, I've wanted to play this game. Not to say that I know all the games, because I certainly don't. And boy, oh boy, there are so many that are coming out. But just curious what y'all want this stream to look like, because I am here for you. Yellow and wild we've got. Okay, Tom, let's see if I can get a 2 for you. Ah, I did not. A yellow 6 and a wild 5. Well, that is crossing out on my yellow section, so all of my yellows are done. But I can use that wild 5. I can use the wild 5. So let's see. Yeah, I've got quite a few roll and writes. Some games that could do fairly well with 2-player. I've thought about doing possibly like an escape room game. That might be kind of cool, like a Deckscape or something like that. Those might be kind of fun. Wild 5 will finish the purple at least. Okay, nice. So your purple section is all done. I have 2 more spots on my red section, as well as 2 spots on my green. My blue section is hurting. There's a lot left in blue. But let's see what I can get for this final roll of round 7. Blue and green. Oh boy, here we go. Blue 5 and a green 3. Blue 5, green 3. Oh. Oh, and I can't do any of those. Well, wait. No, I can do the blue 5, but I can't do the green 3. Okay. That's quite all right. My goal is to get less than 11, because that's what I did last time I played. Less than 11. So yeah, there's some fun card games that we could play. It's also some cool to do some just silly trivia too. Oh, hello. Hello, are you done with your nap, everybody? Currently sitting at 5 X's. Not too bad, Tom. Let's see. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 X's. Oh, jeepers. 7 X's to go. And at the end of the game, too, once we do the 6 dice for round 8, any spots that are left open after all the die rolls have been resolved and all the abilities have been resolved, then you do mark the X's. So any empty spots will also get you an X. So, Gamer Katie Soma is making her presence known. What would you like? You would probably like games that have nice box sizes to them, I would think. So you can just sit and nap to your heart's content. Yeah. What do you say? Should we start the final round? I think we should start the final round, huh? Okay. I'm going to put you down so Mom can grab the dice. Okay. Let's see. Final round. Here we go. Round 8. So I need some reds and some blues and some greens. Red, blues, and greens. Those are the colors of choice I'm looking at. Reds, blues, and greens. Green and orange. Okay. A green 1 and an orange 5. Green 1, orange 5. So I can't mark anything in orange. My orange is filled. And my green, I cannot mark that. So give myself an X there, and that is done with green. Done with green. So now I'm looking at blue and red to be next here. Blue and red. Or wild. Wild could be nice. Wild can be nice. So our next two, blue and red. Okay. A blue 6 and a red 4. Blue 6, red 4. Ooh, can I write the 6? I can. And the 4. Wow. That's pretty awesome. But I think need 4s. Colors are less important. Well, do you need a red 4? Because that's the red 4 there. And if I get a wild, that could be helpful for filling in the rest of those blues. Or a wild 4. Okay. All right, Tom says you can use the wild 4. Let's see. Am I going to pull the wild 4? I am. Okay. Wild 4. Let's cross our fingers and toes. Oh. Here it is, Tom. A wild 4 and a yellow 2. So my yellow section is done. The wild 4. Can I mark a wild 4 somewhere? Holy smokes, I can't. Oh, that's such a bummer. Oh, geez. Well, there it goes. My game is done. Counting up my X's here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Holy smokes, friends. I did it. 10 X's. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, no. Nope. I forgot the small one. Ah. It is 11. Blast. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yep, it is 11 again. Blast. Blast, blast, blast. Oh, boy. Whew. 9 X's, including the empties. The wild. So Tom got 9 X's, which included your empty spaces. That's pretty darn good. The wild 4 saved my bacon, as it was the only way I could use my last dupe. Yeah, and I'm telling you folks, Tom did not endorse me rolling these dice. It is completely by chance. But sometimes making your request known, the dice hear you. So this is my little score sheet here. I didn't do... Man, I was so close. I thought I counted 10, but it was actually 11. I think up here in the New York section, I thought that was a 4, and it was actually an X. If you request enough things, occasionally it pays off. Yes. Sometimes I would like to request ice cream being delivered to my house. Sometimes it happens, and sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes it's one of those things that if you do, having those genie in the lamp kind of moments. But yeah, that's Rolling America from Gamewright. It's pretty cool, pretty little simple roll and write game, portable. I'd like to do some of the other maps. I might try that Sherlock Holmes map. It looks pretty neat to do and see how it works out. Yeah. So that was that. I'm wondering on here if we did this. Yeah, so these are double-sided. So we've got, I need to erase because it wasn't an improvement on either side. It would have been nice to have it one side be like, oh, I got 11 X's, and then the next one, oh, I got 10 to see improvement. But I guess if I didn't do any worse, then that's kind of a positive too, because that means my strategy has not changed, apparently. And I've tended to notice that with myself, when I'm playing different games, I always like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do a different strategy. Like, good example with Patchwork Doodle. In that game, you're supposed to draw to connect your shapes to make the biggest squares possible. And, my brain space likes to start on the bottom and work my way up, kind of like in Tetris when you're playing with Tetris. but I decided one time to do starting from the top and work my way down. And ironically, it happened to be a much better score. So now I think if I start doing from the top and working my way down, it'll be much, much better for me strategically than my space of thinking that with Tetris, the Tetris style of gaming is the way to do it. Although, on the flip side of that, playing Second Chance, where there's less restrictions, I just go all over the place and have complete chaos and hope for the best. That sometimes it works out and sometimes it doesn't. I've not found a strategy yet for Second Chance, because it's all really on the luck of what gets pulled on those cards. Whereas in Patchwork Doodle, you have like a nice little circle of cards that you can play, and you can kind of see what might come up and what might not come up. So, yeah. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Cool. There's a few questions that I was thinking about asking some of my guests when they come on, and people were curious about what it was that I like to do. I thought I would ask them here for myself. So I'm going to switch. See if this works here. There we go. Get these dice here. All right, Tom. Ooh, it's 1:15 in the morning. Yes, friend. Have a good evening. Get some great rest. Thanks for stopping by. Good job on your score. 9 X's is pretty darn good. So, yeah, thanks, and we'll talk to you soon. All right. So I just had a few kind of cool questions that I thought I would ask for some people to kind of get to know them and get to know me and all that kind of stuff. But we still got a little bit of time, so I thought I'd kind of pop on and talk about those things. First, for me, would be, what is your happy hour drink of choice? I tend to enjoy, for happy hour, somewhat of the ale, either like a cider or a beer, although I'd probably lean more towards the cider route. But right now, I'm currently drinking water because I gotta talk a lot. Yeah. Do you wanna join me on these questions, Selma? Sure. Okay. All right. So yeah. So I'd probably say cider and ale, something, because usually with happy hour, it's the end of the workday. You're just kind of winding down, and so it's nice to have that be a thing to relax. So yeah. Sometimes people like to do, sparkling waters or sodas or things. The post that I did on Instagram, that was an actual soda. So it was not an alcoholic beverage. That would be my drink of choice. Next is favorite player color. My all-time favorite player color that I wish was in more games is purple. For those that know me, any time there's a purple player piece, any sort of iteration of purple or in the blue hue family, that's where I would go to. So purple for sure. And if you're a game designer or publisher or things, please incorporate more purple pieces into your games, because I enjoy them a lot. But if there's not a purple piece available, I would probably most likely go to blue. Some of the standard player colors. Favorite game theme? Ooh, I would have to say I enjoy things around water and oceans. As a kid, I was really fascinated with the ocean. I wanted to become a marine biologist. I wanted to live on a boat. I wanted to explore the world. And that was really cool to see that there were games that had ocean themes to them. So I like games like I just played Fleet the Dice game where you're on a fishing boat and you're trying to catch all these different types of fish and take them to the market. That's really cool. There's another game that's a recent purchase within like the last year called Coralia, where you are diving in like a coral reef and you're collecting treasures and things and have really, really beautiful dice. There's cool like player bits and like wooden octopus. So that one's really cool. So I would say theming around oceans and wildlife and water and things. I did get to play Oceans. That was a really neat game too. So yeah, that would be my favorite theme. Favorite theme mechanic, I would say worker placement. I find that to be kind of in my wheelhouse of mechanics that I understand how to play and go through and learn. And so games that have some worker placement like Lords of Waterdeep or Village, where you place your person on and do a thing and then that gives you resources or something like that, or you place your person on a space and then you turn in resources and it gives you other things. But I like a lot of other games as well, but I would probably say that's one of my favorites. And games that have a lot of bits in them. I know that's not necessarily mechanic, but I love so much when I get a new board game and I have all these like bits and things to punch out, and there's baggies and you put all the stuff in the baggies and you have to, there's sorting, and I mean there's sometimes that people just throw everything into a bag and then they put it in the box, or the inserts and things have little spaces for stuff, but I love getting baggies and putting things into the baggies and labeling them, and I'll even sort them out where there's player colors, and if players have certain starter pieces, I'll make sure that the baggies have that player's starter piece so that when we start the game you can just toss them to each player and they're ready to go. I was following a stream earlier this week where this guy was just putting stuff in bags and, peeling stickers and putting stickers on bits and stuff. And that was just really, really cool. It was like, oh man, it reminded me of longing for getting a game so I can do that and just punch out all the bits and putting them in bags and stuff. And so that's really, really cool. So that's not necessarily a mechanic. That's just something I enjoy. Competitive or co-op games. I think it depends on who I'm playing with. My husband and I, when we first started dating, we did a lot of competitive games because that's all we really knew. So we would do things like Yahtzee or Sequence or Mancala. And there was always a winner and a loser. And we talked about it, and he told me one day, like, I want to find some co-op games because I don't always like to, play competitively because then one of us gets mad, or, one of us feels really sad or happy. And so he's like, I want to try to find something that we can both work together on. And so we dived into a lot of the co-op games, and we've really enjoyed them. So with he and I think it kind of varies depending on our mood too. I tend to like to do co-op games with him, like exit games or like choose your own adventure type games. We're currently doing, we currently did a like the Legacy of Dragonholt game with a friend of ours, and you're working collectively as a team, but there are some decisions that you make on your own. But it was mostly overall like a collective effort, and so that was really neat to see. So I guess it really depends. I tend to be a decent player when it comes to like winning and losing. I know it can be just a game, but there are some times when people will sit down at the table and it's hard to not get competitive with others. I know some of our friends definitely prefer competitive games, and there are other groups of friends that enjoy co ops. So it really, really depends on what players are looking for, what our group is looking for. So, yeah, if we can get something to the table, it's awesome. But I would probably say I would do well more with competitive games. I think more often get to the table than co-ops. I think for my husband and I, just with the two of us, we would do somewhat of a mixed bag. Um, so yeah, I guess it really just depends on the group that we are playing with. So, all right, this is a big one for everybody. Game boxes with inserts or game boxes without. Now, this is kind of one of my pet peeves. Oh, there you are. I thought I heard you back there. This is kind of one of my pet peeves, that some game boxes come that their inserts are just, they just don't make sense. That either the little holes are way too small and people don't know like where things are supposed to fit. You know, are there supposed to be coins in here? Are we supposed to put little player tokens in here? I just don't know, because there's no labeling on these like inserts. Or sometimes the inserts are so big that there's just, you know, 2 or 3 giant squares inside the game box, and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna toss all the bits in. So I tend to be one of those gamers that most often just ditches the insert and and just sticks with my own organization of bagging and labeling things. We are talking about getting into like some of the broken token inserts. One of our favorite games that my husband and I like playing is Elder Sign, and we've got tons of expansions for it. And our game box, I mean, if you've seen the Elder Sign game box, it's not very tall. And so once you get several inserts in there, expansions in there, it doesn't fit. And so we are looking into getting a broken token like box just for Elder Sign. And it has drawers and little compartments so you can put all the different cards in and the bits and stuff. So we are diving down that road. But most of the time, I just end up just ditching the insert and just making my own kind of organization, unless it's very, very clear. Like, a good example would be Time Stories. There was different sections in the Time Stories insert where you can put tokens and things too to kind of help sort it out. But they didn't really give much room for expansions and as you went through the different scenarios too. So we ended up ditching that one anyway. So I mean, there are some publishers that do put the little extra effort of like having the cards sliding in different sections. Clank does that as well, where the inserts have little sections where you can put the cards and then the game pieces and stuff. But yeah, I would say for me, game boxes without inserts would probably be my go-to. And I know it makes it harder when if you're trading a game or you want to sell it and get something different. That sometimes you have to put the little subtext and go, insert not included, and so people can have their way of putting things back in the order that they see fit. So next, favorite designer or favorite publisher. Okay. This is kind of difficult because there are so many people in the industry, so many people I admire, but I would probably say Wolfgang Warsch is my favorite designer because there are so many games that he has designed that I really enjoy. And and not to say that, other designers haven't been making wonderful games, but a lot of the games in my collection currently have been from him. And so, Quacks of Quedlinburg, we used to get to the gaming table so often when we were doing gaming events because we would have a lot of folks come to the table that are fairly new at games or they're experienced gamers, and Quacks just was went off like a hoot. So there were so many people that enjoyed playing that game. Ganjan Clever is a really fun kind of mathy game that I really enjoy from him. So yeah, on BGG I have a little badge, Wolfgang Borsch badge. Publisher, I would probably say Haba's doing a really good job, not only because I'm working with them, but they do a really great job at incorporating gameplay into child development, and that's something that's really, really awesome. I feel like the family dynamic needs to be gathered around a table, and what better way to do it than to play a game? So I really enjoy having those games be available to kids and to families. And they're really taking the time to have it be, inclusive for all ages so that the kids can start off, just playing with the game bits as toys and then incorporating it into gameplay as they get older. So I think that's really, really cool. I also like the games coming out from Renegade Game Studios. They're a really nice group of people, and I think they're really intentional about having diversity and representation in their games and also in their staff. So I think that's really cool too. So that would be my answer for them. Okay, big question. Someone that you have met in the industry that has left you starstruck. Well, I've only been around for a few times. A few years in the industry since 2015. So I haven't got to meet a ton of people, but my first ever really big con experience was at Gen Con. And that was really cool, working in the booth with Haba Games and just seeing people kind of come by and the interactions with those folks. One thing that I would probably say would be Rodney Smith. He was not only just a really nice person to meet, but he was just really intentional about like actually talking to me and not just saying, "Oh, hi, nice to meet you," and just like walk away. But actually like having a conversation and just really listening and being intent about, I'm taking time to talk with you, and so I want to know who you are and things. And so that was really, really heartfelt for me, to have that interaction with him. And yeah, he's just done such amazing work with Watch It Played and all of those videos that he shares and does. And I mean, some of those videos have led me to purchase some games. So yeah, thanks to him, it's been kind of a cool experience and interaction with too. And also I recently was just talking on another Twitch stream about Beth Sobel, who is an illustrator, and I got to meet her at a convention, and she taught me and my game group Sunset Over Water, which is a beautiful game that she illustrated. And we had no idea what she looked like, or we knew of her, but we never got to interact with her before. And it was such a cool experience because we were all sitting around and we had the game out and all the pieces out, and we were just looking through and going, hey, trying to figure out how to play it. And we got the rule book out, and this lady and her partner come walking by, and they're like, oh, it looks like you're playing Sunset Over Water. Do you know how to play this game? And we're like, no, we don't. Like, do you know how to play it? And she's like, yeah, I actually, illustrated this game, and we were like, oh my gosh, you're Beth Sobel. And so it was really neat. And she sat down and she taught the game to us, and it was a really, really sweet moment. So yeah, I would say those are probably those two people that I was just kind of like, after the fact, like, oh my gosh, did that just happen? So that was really, really cool. One thing that I hope to see grow or improve in the industry, I would have to say probably the representation and the celebration of POCs, of people in the LGBTQIA plus community, of people that identify as non binary, those that are not in the cis white male demographic. I would like to see more representation and celebration of them and what they are doing, because there's so much happening from these communities that people are just now becoming aware of, which is so unfortunate because there are a lot of great games and a lot of great art and a lot of great content that has come out of those communities that I feel like there should be more. And kind of my experience as being a POC woman is that there was such like a misconstrued concept of what a gamer was, and my first experiences were just interacting with a bunch of white guys, and it was hard to kind of find my little way around a gaming table without getting rules pushed in my face, without getting people talking down to me or downplaying my gaming style and things like that. So it was discouraging to see, but knowing that I'm not alone in that, and I know this seems like an old record that I'm playing, but it's still true. There are still things that need to improve in the industry. So I would say, let's continue to highlight those voices that are doing great work. Let's continue to support the wonderful things that are gaming is happening. I know that Girls Game Shelf is a perfect example, and Shelfapalooza that just happened last weekend that I was fortunate enough to be a part of was really, really neat. And how many different content creators and designers and publishers that they were able to bring together in this event was just amazing. And so I would like to see that happen. And I know there are not all white guys are, talk down to you, and not all white guys are quote unquote bad. But there's definitely a stigma around that, and so I would like to see that change. I would like to see more diverse voices become more of the forefront of gaming. Crystal from Board Game Blitz mentioned something that was really, really neat on a Bits and Bobs episode for Girls Game Shelf, and she said that when you look at someone down the street, like, how do you see them as a gamer? Do you identify them as a gamer? Because you should. Like, everyone, it could be considered a gamer. It doesn't matter what skin color you are, how you identify, you can be a gamer. And I thought that was just very, very poignant and very perfect in how she framed that. So yeah. Okay, outside of gaming, what's one thing that people should know about you? Well, believe it or not, before I got into gaming, I was and still am, can't take it out of me, an audio engineer. I studied in college and I got my bachelor's degree, and I used to run sound for different live productions and in studio performances. I've even done some theater work, and audio engineering was a big part of my life, and it's still a part of me. So having good sound equipment and good microphones and things like that is something that's like near and dear to my heart. It's kind of funny. My husband would kind of poke fun a little bit when we would go to a live show. If I was not personally running the soundboard or doing any of the sound, he would see me making faces, and he would say, are you judging the sound again? And I'm like, yes, I can't help it. It's just so difficult. Um, so yes, I did audio engineering for over a decade, and I also was a radio DJ here in the Northwest. And so I had my own radio show and enjoyed playing a lot of live music and also helping run sound for live concerts and events that we would do in town. And so that's a really, really huge part about that. And that's where I learned a lot about what it means to be a part of a community and a part of a diverse community, because there are so many different people, especially in the music industry as well, that are representing who they are, and they represent what they believe in, and they do that through music and through their art. And that was just really something special to be a part of and to incorporate and help out with. So yeah, I'm an audiophile. Um, as you will probably hear, I might make some adjustments to my audio quality. I I want to provide like the best experience, but this whole streaming thing, being live, is totally different than being behind a microphone on the radio because no one can see you when you're in a little studio booth. Um, so this is a whole new experience, but I'm glad you all are here. Thanks for joining me on this first initiation of Happy Hour Hangout. Please feel free to leave some comments in the chat. Our social media handles, I could show you. I have them here. We can you can catch us out on Chicks Can Game. I will just post it for everybody to see on the Instagrams and the Twitters. You can catch us at CCG Chicks Can Game at Chicks Can Game. Please give us a follow, and if you would like to support us more, we do have a Patreon page. It wouldn't be possible for me to actually do this stream without our Patreon patrons. So thank you to all of them for their contributions. If you would like to participate and become a patron yourself, you can do that as well. I will post the link to the Patreon page here, also in the chat. And I appreciate any and all support for that. So there we go. But yes, thanks for joining me for this stream, Happy Hour Hangouts. I hope to have some friends around the industry joining me on occasion, but I will be back next week, next Wednesday, same time, same Twitch channel. And so, yes, take care, everybody. Thank you again, and I will see you around the interwebs. Bye.